Any man woke me up. Said you'd need ferry to the Obra Dinn. Not many eager for that job. Seems a bit late if you ask.
I didn't.
What's in the box?
I don't know. I'll hoist it up in a few minutes.
Hey, how?
Carefully.
And so it begins. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Curated Logic, where we try and up your brain game. Today, we are doing another review video. At the end of last year, my brother, who is a bigger gamer than I am, bought me a copy of a game via Steam that he had recently played. He suggested that the game was unlike any he had played before and would be one that I would enjoy. The game was Return of the Obra Dinn. It took me a few months before I actually sat down and started playing Obra Dinn, and when I did, initially it was a little sporadic. However, soon enough, I saw in the game all the wonder that my brother had put into that one phrase when describing it. It is like nothing else. And so began a gaming journey that I will remember for a very long time. So, let's begin by getting the plot out of the way. The Obra Dinn is an East India Company ship, all of whose crew and passengers have either died or disappeared. You, as a member of the shipping company, are tasked with discerning what happened to each of the crew and passengers. All you have with you to do so is a memento mortem, which is a device that allows you to see the last moments of each crew member's time aboard, a logbook with images of the crew, details of the ship, and a place for each death to be recorded, and, most importantly, your deductive reasoning. Very seldom do you hear a crew member's name, and therefore, quite often, your guess as to the identity of one of the crew or passengers is just by process of elimination or a number of layers of logic. This makes for a challenging game at points, but in a great way. This is helped along by the fact that the fates are confirmed in sets of 3. So in other words, when you have 3 fates correct, the game lets you know. This means that if you think you have 3 right, but the game does not confirm this, you need to go back to the drawing board on at least one of the fates you have inputted. The other things to get out of the way, as obvious as they are the aesthetics. Deceptively simple looking, the grayscale imagery makes the entire adventure almost feel like you are stuck in a black and white photo negative. As strange as that may sound, this design element is never off-putting, never feels out of place, and makes for some incredibly beautiful imagery. At one point, I spent a good 30 seconds or so just admiring the moon in the sky. Also, the actual gameplay, the way you move around the ship and the way how you play is explained, is great, and at no point interrupts the flow of the game at all. Perhaps my favourite part of the game, though, is the story itself and the way it is told. For the most part, the story is told backwards. So rather than seeing the ship descend into chaos and then the effects that come after, you see the effects of the chaos before gradually being shown how that chaos came about. This way of telling the story continually sparked my curiosity in a way that telling the story chronologically would not have. If the story was chronological, you would basically start with a blank slate of story and 1 or 2 questions would arise at a time as the story unfolds. But by going backwards in time, from the moment you see the first series of deaths, multiple questions are raised and your curiosity is spiked in so many different ways that it immediately places you fully in the story. You can feel that the entire narrative is completely realised and robust. And the excitement that comes from that, for me at least, was palpable. The story was also helped by the exceptional voice acting work and the score, both of which were dynamic and immersive. To be honest, it was really hard to find negatives about this game. I did find that sometimes I wanted to search more of the surroundings of a death before being led automatically to the next one. And on one or two occasions, the ways people died were almost undeterminable without just plain guessing. But these points took very little away from an adventure I feel is one of the closest to a perfect game I have ever experienced. Because of this, I give Return of the Obra Dinn a 9.5 out of 10. Truly exceptional. As the name suggests, it is definitely a game to which I will be returning. Until next time, keep your brain active and keep having fun. See ya.